Hello, friends, and welcome to the very first entry of the Wildflower Journal. I created this space as a weekly diary, a gentle pause in the week where we can step away from the chaos of everyday life and find a little inspiration, beauty, and gratitude together. My hope is that this channel will feel like a cozy corner that you can return to, a kind of escape where you can slow down, breathe, and enjoy the magic of making things with your hands. I've always felt a deep connection to nature. Wild places have a way of grounding me, especially when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. When the world feels out of control, I've learned to lean inward, to return to the simple things that bring me joy. Things like today, gathering wildflowers, painting an old piece of furniture, cooking something warm in the kitchen, or creating something by hand. Those small acts of creativity help me steady my heart and remind me that happiness truly begins within. And that is why I named this channel the Wildflower Journal. Wildflowers have always inspired me. They don't wait for perfect conditions or neat flower boxes. They bloom where they are, on a rocky hill, the edge of a cliff, or in the quiet shade beneath a tree. They follow their own rhythm, they grow where they please, and in doing so, they remind us of the beauty of freedom, resilience, and living outside the lines. I like to think of each project that I share here as its own kind of wildflower, unique, imperfect, but full of life and beauty. This week, I'm inviting you to follow along with me behind the scenes on 4 cozy projects that I hope will inspire your own creativity at home. So get cozy and let's begin. There's something magical about preserving wildflowers. As summer fades and autumn begins its slow arrival, I'm gathering little pieces of the season blooms, petals, leaves, grasses, and I'm tucking them away so that even in the quiet of winter, I can still hold on to the colors and beauty of brighter days. Pressing flowers really feels like you're capturing time. These fragile blooms, which might only last a few days in a vase, can live on in a new way when you carefully dry them. It's a way of keeping summer close all year long. And pressing wildflowers is pretty simple. The key is to choose flowers that are not too thick and to spread them out so they keep their shape. Flat, delicate blossoms tend to press best. And while there's no perfect rule, I usually let mine rest and dry for the minimum of a week. Over time, the color softens, but their beauty remains, lasting long after the season has passed. So when days turn gray and cold, these preserved blooms will bring a touch of summer back into my home. And the best part is, once they're pressed, you can enjoy them forever. Now I have a plan for mine, and it involves us going to a thrift store. One thing I know for sure is that there is always an excess of frames waiting to be adopted, waiting to find a forever home. And so I'm here today looking for the perfect frame to put my pressed wildflowers into. And we're going to work on that together. I like this one here. I feel like the front might be a little bit too busy for me, but still beautiful. This one was really nice as well. A little butterfly on the front, it dangled. Super cute. I debated long and hard on that one. I find that at the thrift store, you can find some really good quality frames for less. Here's a shadow style box one. Definitely a possibility. And here is an example of how we have been pressing flowers forever. I thought this was so beautiful. This is somebody else's art. $2.99. They took the time to create a whole scene and they put a painting behind their wildflowers. That's pretty inspiring. Maybe an idea for us for the future. So this is going to be my pick for today. I love the gold. I feel it has a little level of sophistication to it. The silver, the gold, I think it's going to be perfect. And here we are, the big reveal. These guys have been sitting here in my studio for a week, and I'm ready to work with them. I have been anxiously awaiting this day. So I've got that frame that we picked up. I also found a second one that I had laying around, and I thought this will also be a great one to put some wildflowers into. So we're going to make use of this one as well. I have books upon books that I was given that were destined to be thrown into the trash, but I was asked if I want them, and I said absolutely. So I've been painting on them. I have been just decoupaging them on the backs of furniture, on furniture, mixed media, and here I am going to use them for the background of these flowers. So the cardboard insert that came into the frame, I'm just going to make use of it. It is cut to the perfect size, so I am going to glue the paper onto it, and that will be the backing that I'll slide back into the frame. I don't have any Mod Podge, but I do have some gel medium. You can use Mod Podge for this. Put a little bit on the back to act as glue to keep, in this case, your fern in place, your flowers in place, because as you sit your frame upright, you don't want your flowers to fall. So you can just use something small and put a few touches on the back. This also dries clear, so it will clear up real nice. I don't think you can really mess this up. I'm like, should I put it this way, this way? But in the end, when you stand back and you look at an overall bouquet of dried florals, they are gorgeous. This little pop of purple is going to be perfect with the yellow and the fern. So over the coming weeks, I've made a decision. I'm already looking around the yard in the grass as we drive, looking for flowers before the season ends to be able to add to my collection and to keep making beautiful pressed flowers before the season is over. If you do have any petals that fall off, it's real easy to apply them. Just apply them separately. But once you start doing this, you begin to look around and think about all the different pieces, petals, blooms, grasses that you can really harvest to make some beautiful things. And I have so many ideas. So stay tuned because we're going to use them all up. A little pair of tweezers is also very helpful. I really love that. I don't think I need any more. And now we get to put it into the frame. This is the exciting part. We've collected the flowers. We've waited patiently for them to dry. We've laid them out and arranged them. And we close the door. Let's look through the window. Oh my goodness. I am in love. The combo of vintage pages, a paper in the back, and beautiful florals. I'm going to move on to the very next one as well. Perfect. Look at them together. And as they sit here, they'll dry. Any glue will disappear. It'll fade. They're perfect. Just wait till you see the spot that I put them into. Now, this project brings us into the kitchen for something very cozy and delicious. It's a 2-ingredient pumpkin bar recipe. Look at the weather. It's perfect. Mother Nature timed this perfectly for me. I wanted to make this, and on came a beautiful rainstorm. So it's getting super cozy in here. So the 2 ingredients I'm going to show you here is just quick, simple, and absolutely perfect for fall. You're going to need a can of pure pumpkin, whatever brand, and the storm is coming on stronger and stronger. Love it. And then also get a package of chocolate chip cookie mix. Okay, 2 ingredients, 2 things. This is all you need. Baking to me is just another form of creating. It fills the home with warmth and joy, just like when we paint or craft. And here on this channel, we'll not only create decor together, but also bake together. That's something that I would like to learn more of and to step more into this fall and winter season, because I believe both nourish the spirit in different but equally beautiful ways. So it's as easy as this. Dumped up my cookie mix. In comes the pumpkin. We're going to stir it up really, really well. It's looking great. Next up, we're going to spray our square baking dish. And go ahead and dump your mixture into the dish. Spread it out. I got mine nice and flat. This made my kitchen smell so good. All right, and just like that, I turn my oven on 350. And in she goes. Now, I did a few tests. I took mine out after 25 minutes, and I felt like I had to put it back in because I did the knife test and it did not come out clean. This time it did. So on my oven, I ended up, I think, adding on maybe another 15 to 20 minutes. So just test it, do the knife or the toothpick test, and when it comes out clean, it's awesome. So we have been enjoying this pumpkin bar, me and Matt, for the last 2 days. These are the last 2 pieces, and yeah, Mr. Toad is joining me right now for some tea, some Earl Grey, and the last 2 pieces of pumpkin bar. One for me, one for him. So we are here in my paint studio, and here you can take a good little glimpse before we work on her. I do love how it has this tier, and then the feet. So the back one as well, it's just like the veneer, the wooden veneer is lifted. Same thing here. There was a whole foot that was in here that is now missing. So we're gonna do surgery today. We're gonna rebuild what looks to be roughly the same size foot and go from there. And she will be magical. So instead of giving up on this old broken table that I thrifted and kind of fell apart, I decided to breathe some new life into it with a forest-inspired makeover. I wanted to feel like a piece that could belong in a woodland cottage, alive with character and charm. So I'm thinking the easiest way to do this is to honestly pull out some painter's tape. In my head, I'm like, I'm just going to tape this all together right here with painter's tape to hold. This leg wasn't that bad. I just needed to tape down the veneer. My goal is to paint over it and to hide it with the moss. So it's really not going to make a big difference with the tape over it. You're not going to see it under the moss. And this is a piece that I will be keeping for myself. That would just look pretty and sit there. So here I am. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself right here. This is the first time I've ever attempted something like this. But hey, I am a solution-driven individual. So there you go. Not bad, right? Fits in, same shape roughly. Oh yeah, we can make this work. Here we go, blah, blah, blah. bring on the paint part. Really liking how this is turning out. So we went for the deep color on the bottom, the deepest green, which was the Enchanted Forest. Definitely Enchanted Forest. And then this is the moss blanket, which we're gonna be doing some moss on the legs. I know, showed you that a moment ago. So I'm gonna work on those, but that green should also mirror a little bit of this moss blanket up here too and bring it all together. But I like putting the heaviest color on the bottom. It just really grounds the piece. And then this is where it kind of combines and then it gets lighter. So darkest, and then we start the blend to the top. All right, I've got to twist this around and do the other side as well, but soon she will be done. Dab, 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 dab. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of the green, the darkest green, along the edges here to kind of imitate shadows. Now we let it sit and dry. All right, time to get out the moss. The heat gun is doing its thing. This is the sheet moss. So the plan is to take this and cover over those areas that we worked on, and of course bring it up and around the piece as well in some other places. I'm gonna really go good on this because once this goes down, you don't tear moss back up. So really want it good. Press it and hold it and fluff the moss. But wow, that looks real fun. I like that there's even leaves on here. Perfect. Make it look like it started down there and here it goes. Growing up, growing up. This fourth and final project is one that I hold dear to my heart. It's because it's inspired by the name of this channel. This will be my very own Wildflower Journal. I wanted a place to document all my creations. It's going to be a book filled with my projects, my ideas, inspiration, recipes, just cozy decor, all the things we do week to week. Watch for a new video every Sunday. And be sure to let me know if you enjoyed this video in the comments and you want me to make more. So to make this project, I went and found a thrifted hardcover book. I'm about to give it a complete makeover here. I'm going to be painting it, flipping it, and turning it into a creative diary. This project reminds me that our own creative journey deserves to be celebrated and remembered, and I hope it's going to inspire you to begin your own journal of making as well. Perhaps you can make and create along with me weekly. So you've seen me apply a coat here of Junk Monkey paint, Raven Wing. And I'm going to put 3 layers of paint on here. I do different brush strokes to go back and forth to create the texture. And you'll see why I do that in just a second. Right now, while that is drying, I am over here hanging out with my friends and I'm creating some little embellishments that I'm going to be able to jazz my book up with. So, to keep with the theme of wildflowers and nature, I picked out some molds here and I'm filling them with clear glue. This is a tip for anybody who wants to make their own furniture molds and just setting them up. And I picked out some leaves as well. I think that would be pretty cool. And I'm just dropping them in real quickly. I'm not overthinking it because I want this to be a rather shabby style, just a really cozy feeling. Again, lots of character, weathered book that I love to pick up. I went ahead in Canva and I created the Wildflower Journal printout that you see there and cut it. And right now I'm just laying out the idea for how I see the cover. I decided that I'm missing something over here. So I'm going to make one more. Real quickly, I just go ahead, I fill out my mold, create another one. And now that I have my placements ready to go, I'm just going to go ahead and glue them on with more of the same glue. I've chosen a couple different sizes of butterflies, some floral, and it's really easy when you do this. It just pops right out of the mold. This is what it looks like. You can pull off the glue strings, fix it up any way you want. But like I say, I don't overthink it because my style is weathered and just lots of character. It's perfect. It's imperfectly perfect. So let's glue this one on as well. I love that. Just picking off my glue strings here. Now the paper in the center I'm going to pull out in just a second because I'm going to paint over all these molds. Right here is just a piece of paper that I recycled. And here we go. All right, so coming back the next morning, everything, let me get this woolly off, everything is sealed. It's ready to go. Perfect. So I created a lot of texture in here. Again, you can do that by going back and forth with your brush strokes. You can do a little blah, 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 dab, dab, dab. But the reason why I built up texture is because I knew I planned to come in here with some metallic wax. And it's just a way to create all kinds of bumps and edges and texture. So that way when you go over it, your finger will just pick up on all of that. The highlights will hit the mountaintops and the valleys will be the shadows. This is one of my favorite parts. You can really start to see all the details. And when you do the glue, it doesn't have to be perfect. Not especially if you just love really antique-y, shabby, old looking things. They have wear, they have character. Color I'm using is called White Gold. So we can also do the edges. And then I'm also just going to take a shabby chip brush that I have laying around just to continue to just basically blend it out around the edges, soften it up, bring it inward. You guys know I have this space left right here because I want to do a title for my journal here, the Wildflower Journal. I'm also bringing it around. I'm going to leave the black around the bigger parts of the area, but I do want to create a little bit of the dusting not only on the piece, but around the piece. Perfectly imperfect. That looks fantastic. I'm also going to put a little bit on the sides as well. Just scruff it around my spine. Perfect. What we're going to have to do, by the way, you can also do that if you want on the edges of your pages and stuff. I'm just going to work on this section right here. And you can also do the same thing with painting your back. Just when your front is done, turn it over and do the same process. I'm probably just going to have a flat back. You can also, just because your back is the part that moves around your table and stuff, you may just want to Mod Podge like a page, a beautiful old page or a piece of just paper that you really, really like on the back, some tissue paper, something, so that way the back that gets moved around a lot on that surface, you won't get your paint scratched up and it stays nice and the way you like it. All right, so everything is softened up and it's not a really thick layer on here, so this should dry pretty quick. So I'm gonna go ahead, work on my next project and come back and we will add on the official title. So this looks fantastic. I've got my window open here and it's dried nicely. This is, of course, I just used a piece of paper, recycled a piece of paper and printed off this tag that I decided on. And now I'm gonna secure it to the book. So I'm going to use, I have right here, this is a gel gloss, gel medium, basically a Mod Podge. I'm at a Mod Podge, so I'm using that brand. But what I'm gonna do is secure this to the book. Just like this. Now what I'm gonna do is just go over it and seal it from the front. This will just help keep it clean, put a seal onto it. So here I am just blending in the tag, the title of the journal, so that way it feels like it's part of the book and it also feels old as well. So this is a fun part as well. This is the final stages here, just to blend it in. So I'm really excited to get to use this book. You might be wondering, well, how are you going to use it since the book is actually has book pages? Well, that's the fun part. On next week's episode, we'll begin to use this journal and I'll show you how I prep the pages, prepare, and how I use them. So going forward, week to week, we will be doing an actual spread inside on the pages. And so there might be pages with recipes because this was a recipe book that has some recipes that I might want to try. And if so, you know what? I'll leave those as is. I might leave this inside cover, probably do something to it. But yeah, maybe begin right here. So we're going to white out these pages and begin to fill them with what we're working on. So as you can see, the Wildflower Journal will be a blend of many, many things that I love, including thrift flips, cozy DIY projects, handmade crafts, cooking, and inspiration drawn from nature. But at its heart, this channel is about more than just projects. I want to make a space for creativity in our everyday lives and find joy in the small acts of making and slowing down enough to savor all the beauty that exists around us. So each week, I plan to bring you along with me on a journey of creating, reflecting, and sharing. And my hope is that these videos will not only spark ideas for you for your own cozy projects, but also give you a sense of calm and connection, like a warm cup of tea from Mr. Toad shared between friends. So thank you for joining me today and for being here at the very beginning of this new adventure. I'm so glad that you found your way to this little corner of the internet. I hope you will subscribe and come back each week as we continue this journal together. We're going to be adding new pages filled with creativity, gratitude, and a little bit of everyday magic. All right, guys, I will see you Sunday. You guys have a terrific week. Much love, Sonia.